All right, hello everybody. Today I will be going over our challenge for assignment 6, going into some stuff that we can do using filters in Photoshop. So first what I'm going to do is drag out my landscape photo. And so to create a filter, what you need to do is first go to the marquee tool. And you can basically just make a quick selection of your picture of where you want it to be. I'm going to make 3 panels just for time's sake. So with that selected, go up to filter up here, and there's a lot of different options that you can do. So starting with blur, one of the first things we learned was the Gaussian blur, and you can kind of make it a little bit blurrier all the way to basically nothing. Bring it down so it's a little bit sharper. So you can do that. I want to go into a few other ones as well. The motion blur, which you can change the angle of it. So if you wanted it to move horizontally or vertically or at an angle, you can do that. And then you can also make the blur lines a little bit further apart like that, or you can kind of have it all run together so it's just a streak of color. So there is the motion blur. Then back at filter, do the radial blur. You can do spin, which gives you these circles, or you can do zoom, which kind of just pulls it in. So for example, here's zoom. And then let me try spin instead. And you can change the center of it, so you can have it spin up here if you wanted. Kind of ends up like that. So for this one, I think I want to use motion blur. Actually, I want to use the radial blur. So going to filter and radial. I like it more when it's in the center and maybe even a little less pixelated than that. All right. And then what I'm going to do is just drag this over so you don't have to copy or paste it or anything. It just kind of goes with itself. And going back up to filter, now I'm going to go into stylize. And there's a bunch of different ones over here. Going with tiles real quick just to see what happens. Kind of makes these squares. If I go back up, or actually edit undo tiles, go back up to filter, into stylize. You can add other effects like wind. So it's kind of just like if the wind was blowing through the trees, big blast of wind, and then staggering wind. And going back down to stylize, my favorite is the oil painting. So it kind of makes it look like a Van Gogh piece. So I like that the way it is. You can also change the angles of everything. And the further you bring the stylize to the right, the more it looks like just paint. But if you bring it over like that, makes it a little sharper. You can fix the cleanness, the scale. I like it like that, so I'm going to leave it like that. And then bring over my last segment. I'm going to kind of go in front of that one, but that's all right. So going into filter, last kind of thing I want to touch on is noise. So you can add dust and scratches. Changing the radius, make it kind of blurry. Change the threshold. Just going to bring it down a little bit. And that's what it would look like. Just going into some more that we can use. and noise, add noise. So this is basically going to make it look like a TV when it's out of service. You can make it all the way so that there's a lot of noise, or you can make it kind of just look a little speckled, which is kind of cool as well. It also looks kind of like a painting, I think. And then if you wanted to do anything else, we could sharpen it, or stylize. We can do some other things. Kind of inverts it a little bit. Kind of cool. I like that one. So clicking OK. And that is basically how you can use filters. They're a lot of fun to mess around with. Kind of gives you a different perspective on your image, a lot of different things that you can do with it to make it a little bit more interesting. So we're just going to go File and Save. Save it as Challenge 6 JPEG. And then as always, save it as PNG. All right. So thank you guys for listening, and I hope you learned a little something.